Hey everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott. Welcome to the Almost Friday Show. It's Thursday, March 18th, 2010.
And off the press this week, we take a glimpse at God of War 3.
We have a review of Mysterius, the Unfathomable, which features some local talent from the gutters.
In Tech Insight, we go red and white and talk about a potential MP3 tax.
And from behind the lens, we're checking out the absolute latest in automated multi-megapixel panoramics.
And in this week's Lull of the Week, we bring back a legacy lull, 8-bit D&D. Need we say more?
Coming up, it's Sam and Sean in Off the Press.
So what are we going to do this week, Sean?
Same thing we do every week, Sam.
What?
Try to take over the world.
No, Sean. This is Off the Press. And we're going to start with something so epic that it's blowing my mind, even though I've only played like one chapter of it. It's God of War 3. It came out earlier this week, about 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I bought it. I've only actually played the first chapter and a half, but oh my god, it's blowing my mind how awesome it is. Like, just really, really quickly, just the intro sequence is like you'll never hear this ever again. It's like a mix between, you know, the intro in Disney's Hercules where it's like the singing pots?
Yes.
The pottery comes to life. It's like that mixed with like a cool James Bond intro.
Oh, God.
And lots of blood and gore, obviously, because it's God of War, but...
I just had the worst vision in my head. I just had the opening to Hercules, and then I just had the opening for a James Bond film, and then all of a sudden, it turned into 300.
I haven't seen 300, but yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't actually played enough of it to give a full review, but my preliminary review is...
And I've never played God of War because I frankly hate hack and slash games. And since Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on the PlayStation 1, they haven't changed at all. It's kind of just, to me, it seems like you kill things with a sword or a couple swords, and then you suck up their soul.
It's button mashing. It's all button mashing, but I actually like God of War, mostly just for like, the story and the mythology behind it. But hopefully, in a couple of weeks, I'll finish the game and give you a full review. And yes, it will be a couple of weeks, maybe even months. Don't hold your breath. The next up on...
Could only imagine.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
cool.
good.
All right, so next up on the epicness scale is, this is a geek favorite, mostly geared towards kind of younger readers, all ages readers. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the movie.
Please explain.
The comic is written by Brian Lee O'Malley. It's about a young guy from Toronto who is a slacker / hero / part-time bassist, which it's kind of like a slice of life comic, you know, boy meets girl and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's written in 6 parts in kind of manga style.
Okay.
It's kind of cool, and being made into a movie is supposed to come out in August of this year. The first teaser poster was released earlier this week. You can find it on our website, where there are show notes. There might be a link, there might not be. We'll see what happens. That's kind of exciting. This movie stars Michael Cera, who I found out was Canadian.
Right, I remember him.
Yeah, I found out today he was Canadian, just doing my research for this. It's directed by Edgar Wright, who did Spaced and Hot Fuzz and the upcoming Tintin movie. Kind of exciting, don't you think?
It is, but you know what? I hate Michael Cera.
Yeah, me too.
I have to admit, I really don't like him. He's completely typecast now, and
yeah, but not having read the books, I'm not going to judge the casting or the directing or the stuff until that happens, because I want to mention it because it's big news, and because the poster looks really cool.
Well, it's good to go with.
Yeah, so continuing with the thread of movie news, more Captain America rumors. Sean's probably your favorite Captain America character, Red Skull.
No, actually.
No.
No, Red Skull always annoyed me.
But he's Nazi, and he's a crazy
I don't like
guy.
Nazis.
Lies
I don't know where
deceit.
anyone gets these ideas. I really hate the Nazis. I read comics about people beating them for a reason.
I'm sorry, Sean. So in the rumor mill, Hugo Weaving is very likely supposed to be playing the Red Skull.
That'd actually probably be a really good pick, though.
And also, there's still no word on who's supposed to be playing Captain America. The list we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, yeah, apparently most of those guys, their agents are like, yeah, no.
Just watch, it's going to be Nathan Fillion.
I wish. And then like 4 or 5 more people have been thrown into the mix, and it's all really confusing. All we know right now is Hugo Weaving, most likely Red Skull.
You know what though? He's probably a good pick for that.
Oh,
Considering
definitely.
the only thing is though, people are gonna have to really watch because like everyone, if you didn't know, Hugo Weaving's Agent Smith from The Matrix is probably his
And some elf dude from Lord of the Rings.
Elrond, I think.
Sure.
The one who reminded me of Scientology. I don't know why, but the whole point being, he's probably going to be a good pick because he does do really good villains. He does pretty good guys as well. But I mean, his villain act is really good.
Oh, definitely.
And I mean that, and he's just strange.
Yeah, he's got the weird look, but for the Red Skull, I don't know what they're gonna do, like with the face. I don't know if they're gonna do a prosthetic thing
or
or
they're gonna...
CG. I kind of wanna see a prosthetic because that'd be kind of cool, but
I kind of like to see if they would do it like they did.
like motion captain where he wears like a green hood.
Sort of, but at the same time, that'd just be getting a little hokey.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, it'd be just like the original movies all over again, from the early '90s, '80s, and whatever.
70s.
'70s.
Good times.
But the other one that they could probably do, though, if they could figure out how they did, I'd like to know how they did. You're up here. The Dark Knight for
Two-Face?
yeah, for Two-Face.
I'm pretty sure most of that was.
I know it was
slash
CG.
all was CG. I think there were some parts
Yeah,
that were
like
here
here
that were
you
real.
could actually see through them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd like to see if they can do that sort of thing
Oh, they
without
probably
having to
would.
do the full face mask.
Oh yeah, they probably will do something half CG, half prosthetic, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Continuing on, see, we're doing really good at stitching the stories together now. We're staying in the Marvel universe. This is kind of exciting for iPhone users. So Marvel goes international on the Comixology app.
Cool.
This means that Canadians and then everyone else that's not an American can buy comics on the app for, I think they're $1.99 each. It's most of the titles right now that I can see on the Canadian side are mostly like the really big ones, like Captain America and X-Men and Spidey. And I don't think they're the current runs or like the last major arc. And there's also some weird stuff, like some really old, like not really old, like older X-Men and some Runaways, which I was really surprised that I saw that. But I think it's kind of more like B/C grade heroes,
Oh, okay.
like kids of supervillains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of really cool, but I was surprised I saw Runaways there because it's not exactly a huge title, but I guess with the iPhone they're trying to cater to
Everybody.
everyone. Yeah.
Except for, those people want to get those more adult apps. But that's last week.
Minor details. So that's it for Off the Press. Now we go on to Dave in the gutters.
Welcome to From the Gutters. I'm Dave.
I'm Sam.
We're going to be reviewing 2 books today. One of them is going to be Player's Handbook 3 from Dungeons & Dragons. And I'm going to intro the whole thing with Mysterious, the Unfathomable, illustrated by local talent Tom Fowler. It was also written by Jeff Parker. Mysterious, the Unfathomable, the plot basically, it's so hard because there are lots of different threads in this story, and reading them month to month, they really strayed, and it was hard to sort of keep track of where the story was going.
Okay.
What it comes down to is Mysterious, the Unfathomable, is a magician, except he's an actual magician. He deals with actual magical stuff. And it sort of starts off with him recruiting a new Delphi, which is an assistant, like a receptionist slash get my tea slash beat up this monster, anything
Sure.
he doesn't want to dirty his hands with. Then it goes on to them having to deal with this rich guy who has all of his mistress's names showing up on his body, but then they can't help him because there was this eBay auction where an idol that someone was selling, it was taken up. There are like 9 different threads.
Good
I
lord.
said 6. I think there's maybe 9, but there are a whole bunch. It reads much better as a trade paperback than it is individual issues. The artwork. I've known Tom for a long time,
I've met him a couple of times, Dave. He's a pretty nice guy.
and I'm afraid I might be one less friend today.
Oh.
Truth be told, I do really enjoy Tom's artwork generally. This is not his best artwork, though. We've got a few shots of some of his stuff here. We've got, there's some scenes there where we can see some of his work. It's not his best work, but I hate saying this because I'm not a perfect artist either, but the richness of what is being written in this story, because there's one point where they deal with a character who is basically Dr. Seuss, and how the Dr. Seuss books are given to children, and so there are these incantations told every night, and so it weakens the border between
That's crazy.
Dr. Seuss land, whatever. Such vibrant, rich tones in this whole story, and it goes all over the place. So yes, there's a lot to it. The artwork I didn't think lived up to what I have seen from Tom. So, well written. It gets out of that safe area that I was talking about last week with Hext, and it's, I wouldn't say challenging, but at least entertaining, very entertaining. Artwork is good, not perfect though. I'm going to give this book a B-.
Not too bad.
Don't hate me, Tom. All right, Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook 3. This book, okay, let me tell you a little something about D&D. When you're playing Dungeons & Dragons, in most of the other editions, this is 4th edition, in previous editions, there would be eventually a source book released having to deal with psionics, mind powers, that sort of thing. This time around, rather than releasing a psionic, and typically the psionics book does not sell very well. Why this is, not every campaign, not every dungeon master chooses to use psionics in their campaign. In this case, they are releasing classes and races that deal not strictly, but broadly with psionics. So, rather than saying this is an option, they're saying this is part of the universe. Player's Handbook 3. You flipped through it. What did you think of this?
I thought I don't actually play Dungeons and Dragons. I kind of have an interest in it. I'm more or less vaguely familiar with the world and the characters and stuff. I thought some of the races were really trying to push and say, oh, we need to add this many races into the new game or the new book. What kind of weird stuff can we come up with? I'm not sure if these guys already existed as NPCs or monsters, but I know the races seemed a little bit weird for my sensibility. But the classes, I thought they were really cool. There were a lot of, I guess what I would call going over to WoW, it's kind of like a paladin / priest style classes, and then there was one that really caught my eye, the monk. That one looked really fun.
The monk was pretty cool. Yeah. The monk tends to be a broken class. By broken, I mean they are tremendously overpowered.
Oh, excellent.
But I can have a gnome monk.
That's different from all the other broken classes I've played. So.
This book, I would say they're pushing a little bit more. They're trying to invite more of the WoW players into Dungeons & Dragons. They are also trying to, I would say,
push one of their lower selling items, or?
Absolutely, yes. By giving it a different name, rather than saying a psionics book, they're saying it's a Player's Handbook 3. Yeah. No, really, it's Player's Handbook 3.
It's important.
With this one, I would say that they have done well. I think they're also pushing RP, roleplay.
Cool.
From reading some of the class and character descriptions. I'm going to be trying it out over the next few months. I will give you another review in a little while. As it stands, though, must-have book, I wouldn't say so. I think that 4th edition can probably be played safely without Player's Handbook 3. However, if you're into psionics, this is a must-have. I'm going to be trying it out, honestly, just because some of the stuff in this book is just so cool.
A lot of it seems fun.
Visually, and it really gets the imagination going. And that's a big part of what D&D is all about.
Yeah.
All right, that's 2 books reviewed. Thank you, Sam, for your help.
Thanks, Dave.
And that's it from the gutters.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Insight. It's a very Canadian-packed Tech Insight for a change. We occasionally do that. It comes in waves. Every once in a while, you just see a bunch of Canadian stories. We have a little Apple news in there just to balance it, because we always have Apple news.
Yeah.
There's lots of it, little rumory kind of stuff. Quinn's starting it off with some controversial lawmaking.
So a couple of days ago, the NDP decided to attempt to pass a bill in which they wanted to tax us for our iPods, MP3 players, potentially laptops and CD car stereos and things like that, under the premise that we're going to steal music, so they want to tax us to give some stuff back to the artists. I am completely outraged at this, and I'll explain why. Basically, the idea is that they're going to tax any type of device that could potentially play digital files on the pretense that we probably steal our music, so we're not giving the artist the dollar value they desire, and so they're going to take a tax from us and pay out those artists. Well, the first thing that's going to happen is the artists are never going to see that money anyways, because it's going to go through a privatized group that's going to do whatever it feels like with the money, and maybe some people see it, but it really doesn't make sense.
Not to mention, they're talking a fairly small fee on top of these things, so realistically, tons of artists, they're not going to get that much money.
But does it really make sense to put the tax on, especially if you can show, like, it's already shown that digital music purchasing, so iTunes or Urge, whatever the hell else is out there, if you're buying it legally, the artists are making a hell of a lot more money off of that sort of thing than they are from anything else that they could potentially do for the artist.
Well, yeah, so that's the problem, is that they assume that everyone's stealing music these days and no one's buying music legitimately anymore, which is completely inaccurate. But it basically penalizes all the people that don't steal music. I mean, I myself rarely ever buy CDs anymore, but I buy almost all my music through iTunes. Which means that if I'm going to listen to my music, it's going to be on an iPod or on a thumb drive, or, the deck in my car doesn't play CDs anymore. It just plays my iPod, which is fine by me because that's where all my music is. But I shouldn't be paying a tax for someone who's stealing music just because I want to play it on my iPod. I mean, essentially what they're getting at is if you were to equate it to CDs, they said that if you need to listen to it in your car, at home, and at work, then you'd need 3 copies of that CD to be purchased so that you could play them on all devices. That's more or less what they're trying to get at by taxing everyone for the different devices that could play it. But everyone knows that you can go and buy a CD and take it from one device to the next, and no one's going to slap your hand for that. That's what you're expected to do.
And you're not going to pay a licensing fee on your CD player to play CDs.
But this also goes back about the early thousands. Actually, as soon as Napster got shut down, they kind of went into this sort of thing again. We're getting into it again. They did it before, where they were starting to trying to put taxes on CDs, any kind of burnable media. They were also trying to put it on to the players themselves, because people were, of course, burning CDs, copying CDs, doing whatever they could with them.
Just so you know, there's still actually a fee on blank tapes, blank CDs.
Oh, there are now?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think there was still
There
on
has
there.
been since tapes.
Yes, because
I didn't think it was still on. That was the thing. I thought they got removed.
The original bill was passed back in the day of blank cassettes because they assumed that if you were buying blank cassettes, it was to steal music. So that happened.
Which at the time was more or less accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were at the very least making mixtapes, which you weren't really supposed to do.
Or recording your LPs or recording off the radio. Or
But
whatever.
unfortunately, we're well beyond those days now.
Oh,
But you know what, though? Considering how well beyond we are from those days, and considering how there's still music being made, new music, the artists, no one's gone starving. So
The problem is the people who are in the industry, the artists. No, I'm talking artists. I don't care about the producers. I definitely don't care about the record labels, because they're making tons of money. They keep whining about online distribution and stuff. They're still profitable. Okay, so they're not losing money. They're still making money. So I'm, as a consumer, I don't care. No. If you're still making money off me, I don't care about. You don't need any more. But the artists, there's been a few, like Metallica and stuff had that big kick up way back when Napster came out and stuff. There's been a few, but on the whole, they're not complaining. They like the digital distribution because it's easier to get yourself out there. And smaller artists can get into things like iTunes easier than getting signed with a big label and releasing CDs worldwide.
Yeah.
very true.
So it makes your music a lot more accessible, and it helps you make money earlier. So it's good for the indie artists. The big artists aren't hurting, because they're making. If you search iTunes, that's what all the top songs are. So I don't see why the governments in every country, every Western country anyway, the United States has been over this 1,000 times, keep thinking that they're hurting because of this new system. They don't understand the system.
But that's because the artists themselves aren't bitching. It's the
Well, exactly. So
it's the labels.
But
it's
if
the
that's
producers.
not there, why are they playing the artist card?
Because people automatically think artist.
But they don't. That's my point.
But the people, no, not you. People.
They don't.
Not you people. I'm talking about court people. They think artist. They don't think when they see the producer come out, they're not thinking about the producer. They're
In
thinking
the
about
court,
artist.
they're educated people, Sean. Judges are not dumb. That's why these laws haven't been getting passed in the states, and they've hit tons of legal problems because they have a fair use law in the state, which we don't have here.
That
we
is
do
the upside
need.
to this story, is that the conservatives decided it was a really bad idea and fought against the bill while it was up, and it's now gone to committee, so we probably won't see it surface anytime soon, but it more than likely will come back.
It's gone to committee. It's definitely coming back to Commons for a vote.
Yeah.
Who knows when? Committees can take forever, as long as they feel it deemed necessary to debate it. It had full support of the Bloc Québécois and the NDP.
Huge chance that this is probably just going to get buried before it even gets back to Commons.
Chances are I wouldn't see this going anywhere, but the fact that it's being raised, as Quinn's saying, is kind of insulting to the consumer.
Yes.
And it brings about the possibility of other digital rights issues coming up and additional bills being passed
It
for
opens
whatever
the door.
reason,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
for sure.
Anyway, moving on to more Canadian news. For those of you with Android handsets, your life just got a little bit better. Why don't you tell us about it, Sean?
Android Marketplace has finally opened up Canadian purchases. So, instead of just being able to go into the marketplace and on your phone and just getting free apps, you can now get the full apps. You can actually pay for them. I know it doesn't sound like, a good thing, but some of these apps are pretty cool. I haven't bought any yet. I have not signed up.
The app marketplace is still pretty small, but I mean, it's like there are a few apps that I bought on the Apple iPhone store that you're like, this is a really good app. I'm glad I paid the $2 for it. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a huge market for paid apps because that's the more like you expect a higher quality and usually get it. So I think for the Android marketplace is really huge, especially for Canadians, because I know Sam's been sitting here saying, "Oh, I want that app. Wait, I can't get it because I'm in Canada, so I can't pay for it."
And then Sam texts me or sends me an email about, "Hey, you should really get this app." And then we both kind of look at each other and go, "Wait a minute, we can't get this yet because it's not in Canada."
It's always
It
good.
is now.
It's always a good thing when we can have access to more applications, as it's going to help push the development of all this stuff too, and increase the number of applications total in the Android market. So,
and for sure, push the purchase of Android phones in Canada.
Definitely, yeah,
because
definitely.
that might be a turn off for people, business people looking to adopt Android. Because I know off the bat it doesn't do Exchange very well at all. Other Android news, really quick: the Nexus One, which is Google's very own Android phone. They've been hearing a lot about it in the States. It's now being made. So they originally made one that only worked on Verizon.
Yeah.
They're on a different band, frequency-wise. Now they made another phone that works on AT&T, and since AT&T uses the same band as Rogers, and conveniently, they thought ahead and ship it to Canada. So if you want to get a Nexus One, you can get your very own for the low price of $529 American.
yes, unfortunately, it's not a subsidized phone. So you do buy it unlocked, which is an upside, but buying it unlocked also means it costs more. So if you think you want the phone, it is quite a nice handset, but you will have to fork over, unfortunately, a pretty hefty amount of cash to get into it.
Yeah.
But you can now use it on Rogers, which is a plus.
And
I'd like to mess with it.
I'm not 100% sure, but you probably have to go to Rogers and buy a SIM card. I don't think they have a deal with Google. So I don't know about that. I'm not sure. If you do, that sucks.
No.
If you don't, that's great. You can't buy it in store. You can't play with it in store. You can order it online, just like in the States, and that's all you can do, which is why the Nexus One's going to fail. But that's a completely different argument. Next
on
up,
that.
from the Nexus One, back to Apple, because we like to do that here. So does every other podcast.
Two iPhone users right here. So
If you're currently using screen protectors, don't get them scratched. You might have a hard time getting new ones. That's right, Apple has decided that as of May, it's going to pull all of the screen protectors from its online store. As well, I would also assume its
As
retail
well as
stores.
its brick and mortar stores. Now, we should note that this is rumored from iLounge. Now, iLounge is one of those people who are always up and up on the Mac rumors, and they've confirmed it with several sources.
mystery sources.
I really don't know what that means, but it sounds like something that could be true without any. They haven't given a reasoning though from Apple.
But it does sound like it could be true. But at the same time, 'cause we were discussing this before, Apple must make some amount of money off of these screen protectors.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they must get something out of this, some form of royalty for just the design itself. So I don't see why they would cancel it.
I don't get it. Everyone I know who has an iPhone has had one at one point.
I refuse to have my iPhone without a matte
Yeah,
screen protector on it.
I don't understand. And I mean, and this includes cases that come with. So if you know those packages are like you get a case and you get 3 screen protectors or whatever. Those will be gone too. The whole product, because it carries screen protectors, which is ridiculous. Not to mention you can't get screen protectors for the iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Could you
So
imagine one of them coming
and
out?
you
I'm
know
assuming
you're gonna
it's
want
some
one for
kind
that.
of 3-year-old child choked on a screen and, sued Apple. And Apple, as we've seen in recent news, likes to give in to when people get mad at them. So it might be something weird along those lines.
So when May comes, if we find out why, or and can confirm this for you folks, we'll definitely bring it back.
But until then, you should buy as many screen protectors as you can
Hoard them.
and sell them for a pretty penny on the black market.
Yes,
that's a good idea.
eBay is going to be a sweet market. Although, I mean, you can go to your Best Buy or wherever and get them. So
Pick up a lot of the InvisiShields.
It won't be hard to continue to find them. It's just one less place to be able to get
yeah,
them.
and a little confusing.
Yeah.
So staying in that market, I have an app to review with my iPhone that does not have a screen protector. Oddly enough. So for all, no one else really here at DTL Studios cared, but I played a lot of Ski Free back in the Windows 3.1 Win 95 days.
I remember those days.
It's like a free game that came with Windows, kind of, usually. It wasn't in the Windows install, but when you got a new computer, like, yeah, Ski Free. So it's a freaking awesome game. And I was browsing Gizmodo today, and they're like, Ski Free on iPhone. I was like, what? So I downloaded it. It's free, Ski Free, which is good. It's not done yet. If anyone remembers, if you crash, the monster would come out and nom you.
Yeah, you get a big Yeti.
You'd get eaten. And if you crashed, you'd be done. You'd have to start from the top again. Depending on, I mean, there's different modes and stuff. Basically, right now, you can just ski. So this is the game here. I don't know if you can see that too good, but that's my little skier dude there. And basically, you just ski around. I will note that it's a lot easier to play.
You're gonna get on.
And there's no monster yet. It's
know.
coming in an update. But if you tap again, he'll get back up, and you can ski again. It's pretty sweet. Hit the rocks, jumps are fun. That's the whole game, and that's all it was in the Windows days as well. But it's awesome. There's a score. You lose points when you hit stuff. There's a high score menu that I haven't figured out how to fill yet. I think there's a finish line, but it's pretty far down there. They're talking updates with the snow monster, which I'm excited for, because that's really all you play the game for. And the only disappointing thing is that used to be a hard game. Because you would smoke down that hill and you'd have to use a keyboard, so you didn't have a lot of control.
And in those days, keyboard delay too.
Yeah, you had the good click. This has very finite control with the tilting. It's actually quite nice. I played for 6-7 minutes today without hitting anything.
Maybe you're just a Ski Free pro.
Yeah, maybe it's
maybe
just come back from your
I don't
childhood.
know. I've played a lot, but let me know if you. Yeah, so little shot back to the good old Windows days before
Before
3D gaming came out.
and the day before we
For the
booted
taskbar.
Yeah, or the day before we switched your boot up, so you only booted into scorched earth.
Several times Sean and I messed up my computer so bad that it would boot into DOS and start a game.
Yep.
Not on purpose.
However, if the iPhone isn't your gaming platform of choice and maybe prefer something more like an Xbox 360, we have some Xbox 360 news for you.
So there's been a lot of debate lately about the Xbox 360 memory card issue because the memory cards are expensive from Microsoft, and they started suing people who make third-party memory cards because they're like, hey, you can't do that. It's proprietary format. Can't do it. We hold patents. So
Oh God, one of these again.
this has been going on for a while. This is not what this is about. There has been some talk from the folks at Joystick saying that in the spring update, so there's going to be a spring update, probably April, May, for the dashboard, something like that. Don't quote me. There will be a spring update this spring for the dashboard. I don't know what the rest of the features are, but they're talking that you're going to be able to use USB drives as game storage. So that counts as downloading demos, ripping the games to your Xbox to be able to use them. You're still going to need to put the disc in to verify, but you can play right off a USB drive. Basically how it works is it'll take over your drive and put a proprietary partition on. 512 megs for the partition, and then up to 16 gigs.
Wow.
That's the max. So don't think it's going to replace your Xbox hard drive, because you're wrong. 16 gigs is not a lot of space. But if you want to use a thumb drive, store your profile or something, and take it to your buddy's house, this could be a really good
Cheaper
idea.
option for
Is
you.
it getting
Yeah.
capped at 16?
16 gigs. The profile, the partition can't get any bigger.
Okay.
So you can have up to 2 drives. So you can have up to 32 gigs total storage,
Plus your internal drive?
plus your internal drive.
Wow.
But if you're looking at an arcade saying, woot, I don't have to buy an Xbox drive, maybe not. Because the Xbox drive's like 120 gigs.
Yeah.
That's all accessible to you, as opposed to, I mean, I don't use my full Xbox drive, and I only have a 20. So this is going to meet a lot of needs for a lot of people if it comes in the update. I really think it should. The memory cards are outrageously expensive for what they do. Like a 256 is like $40 from Microsoft, which is crazy. So if you want to take your live profile over to your friend's house and play your live profile without loading it and downloading whatever, you can just use USB stick, which is awesome because everyone has them on hand. So, and you can make sizes smaller than 16 gigs. It just has to be bigger than 512 megs.
Ah, that's pretty good.
So that's the latest from Xbox. Hope to see that in spring update. And that's it today from Tech Insight. Coming up next, we have Behind the Lens. Hey everybody, welcome to Behind the Lens with Quinn. We're talking some pro panoramic gear today.
Yeah, so Gigapan, which is a company that's made smaller automated panoramic devices, has recently announced their Epic Pro, which is designed for full-size SLRs. Now, you might have seen their Epic and their Epic 100, which were the smaller ones that they built. They were designed for point-and-shoot cameras. The new one is designed to hold a full-size camera with a lens. It's designed to hold up to 10 pounds, which is obviously a lot better than the smaller guys. Originally, you were able to take a couple of hundred pictures, stitch them together using the included software. You might have seen the picture that came from Obama's inaugural speech, which was done with Gigapan Epic.
That was that shot with not a DSLR then?
Right, it was shot with a point and shoot because it didn't have support for DSLRs before. Now, the disadvantage to the new one is that it's coming in at a price tag of $895.
Which I thought was outrageous when I
Yeah,
heard. Because,
which-
I mean, okay, really cool, and it's going to be really awesome for a lot of people who want to do the big, like the big scenery shots.
Yeah.
But at the same time, $900.
It is pretty expensive, and when you compare it to the Epic and the Epic 100, they're both cheaper, coming in at around a $300 and $400 price point. So it's a pretty steep price jump just to basically support extra weight, because that's really all that it's gained is some extra weight. However, if you are really into doing panoramic photos and like to do it with your really good SLR, then this is definitely something to consider. I mean, it is like the cost of buying a good lens, so in that respect, it's slightly justifiable, although I do think it's overly expensive for what it does. But there isn't anybody else that does anything like this right now, so if you do want it,
definitely
you're
unique, yeah.
kind of stuck with going with these guys.
So it supports up to 10 pounds. So you can get a pretty good lens on there.
Yeah, I mean, your average professional camera probably weighs 3-4 pounds.
Yeah, so you got some
and
extra
then
room
a
there.
good lens will be around 10 pounds. So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to put a large telephoto lens on there, but realistically, you wouldn't shoot with that kind of lens to do a panoramic. You'd likely be shooting with either a wide angle or a mid-range lens, and those guys are going to be more around the 5 to 8 pound range for, solid glass. Anyway, that's the Gigapan Epic, and if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, check it out.
And just one last quick question. It does support like every brand of DSLR? Like I'm assuming it has to fire the camera.
Yeah, it's going to come with different attachments to plug into triggers for it, and then you'll be able to go from there.
Cool.
But right now we don't have a definitive list of what it's going to support.
All right.
So the other thing that I want to talk about today is the AirStash, which is a wireless SD card hotspot. Now, essentially, it's a product designed to allow your iPhone, iPad, or even computer wirelessly access an SD card. As you can see, it's a relatively small device. It has a single power button, has built-in wireless N, and you plug an SD card in up to 32 gigabytes, and it will create a self-contained network that will allow iPads and iPhones and other computers to access whatever's on there. So it can be movies, photos, that kind of stuff.
Now, I noticed there's a USB plug on there, so this has to be plugged into a computer?
Yeah, well, it can charge through the computer. It has a lithium-ion battery in it that allows it to have 5 hours of streaming.
Which is quite reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, there isn't really a need to be plugged into a computer because it is a self-contained unit. You basically hit the power button and it's going to start showing up for stuff. I don't believe it's a password-protected device.
Yeah.
But it's a really great option if you're a photographer and you want to carry around the portfolio in your pocket and have run out of space on your iPhone or something like that, and also allows you to have access to those photos if you want to share them with people, everything like that. It's coming in at $99, which isn't bad.
Not
It's
terrible.
it's a little expensive for what it does. I think $69 probably would have been a better price point for it. But there will be obviously the apps available on the Apple Store to support both the iPhone and the iPad. So
Which is good.
it should be a pretty well-built device altogether.
Also, since it supports SD cards, I mean, you can get some pretty big SD cards now.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw this, I was thinking, that's a portable NAS.
More or
I'm the
less.
network geek here, and I was like, okay, if I'm doing a conference or a big meeting or something, and I want everyone to be able to get some files, I can just drop that in the middle of a conference table
Yeah, exactly.
and say, connect to meeting at 10 o'clock's IP, and just download it.
Yeah.
And I mean, quick, easy, everyone can get onto it. That has a ton of uses.
It does. It does.
And
So
even at 99, I'm thinking about picking one up, and I don't ever take pictures.
you're thinking about the other data storage.
Well, I'm assuming if you can just browse it like that. I mean, if you
Yeah.
need proprietary apps, then maybe not.
Well,
but-
not for the computer side of things. You can access a web page with the stuff on it, but they have the apps to just make the workflow on the iPhone and iPad easier.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it being huge for that kind of thing, especially if you're selling pictures or something. You're like, you have a sports game or whatever, you took just these pictures of your kids.
Yeah.
Come check them out. Well, iPad, right? Which makes a lot more sense because transferring them over, whatever, you pop the camera card out and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool device.
So that wraps up this week in Behind the Lens. And up next is Sean's Mad Science.
It's kind of alive.
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. So, welcome to Sean's Mad Science. So, what are we going to talk about today? First off, I think we're going to talk about my project. I'm actually starting a project.
Wait,
Dave's
why am I excited?
I don't know. Why are you
God,
excited?
this is going to end up in bodily injury. Awesome.
Yeah. See? Even Dave's excited.
I mean, yay.
So, I'm actually going to start with a coil gun. So,
What's a coil gun, Sean?
Thanks, Dave. Good question. Coil gun is basically, think of a railgun. Railgun uses magnetic repulsion to put a projectile out of the end of it, and this uses attraction. So you've got a coil of wire and a metal projectile.
So you have to attach a coil to someone, and then it'll attract bullets to them?
Well, that could work too. Actually, what you're doing is you have...
I somehow don't think it would. There's a little something in the practicality that I think
But
is
it would be
missing.
funny to see them just... Anyway. Yeah, so, coil of wire around a person is a very good idea.
I'm so glad I'm here.
Yep. So anyway, you would take basically a coil of wire, wrap it around a tube, and then within that tube, just outside of the coil, you would put a projectile, whether it be a ball bearing, a nail, a pin, whatever you want. Something that is magnetic metal. Would be.
So not a grape. I was going to say grape, because that'd be cool, because then you have like splat ball with like grapes.
That'd be cool. Edible. Environmentally friendly. Anyway. So using to actually use the coil, what you do is you put a pulse of electricity through it, because the whole point is you want it to have a quick.
That's right, because
Grab and
when you
release.
make a thing go, that's like when you have the card.
Yeah.
Yay. I learned something.
When you put electricity in a coil, you get a magnetic field.
Cool.
So what you want to do is you want to have the projectile pulled toward the coil. However, you don't want it to just plunk, stick to the side. So you have to kill the power at the proper time, so it goes right through.
Now, is that something you could do like on your own, or you need a computer to do that?
You can actually do that on your own. You can
Right.
make a simple coil gun just using it'd be single shot, and you'd use a capacitor really, because the capacitor's got the punch.
I'm gonna have to ask you what a capacitor is later.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, capacitors are much like a battery, except it stores a charge.
Later.
Stores a charge. Very, very quickly drops it, and boom. Anyway, the whole point is you
I
can
like
do
the
that.
boom part.
Yeah.
That's
The whole point is you can either use capacitors to do this, or if you hook it up to the mains, you could do it a different way.
I'm gonna have to ask you what mains are later. Later.
So, basically, the capacitors, if you can scrounge up enough of them, that's great, but then you still have to work with a timer, because having a single coil is never strong enough unless it's huge, which then adds weight, which then also adds cumbersome crap. So, what you need to do is try and find a way of making it multi-stage or multi-coiled. Then you run into timing problems, because you want every coil to fire at the proper time and turn off at the proper time so that the projectile just keeps moving. However, that would require a computer timer.
Okay, that's right. Okay, all right, that's sort of my question.
Unless
Uh-oh.
you use a rotary switch.
Okay, I thought you were going to say me.
No, well, yeah, well, you could rotate the switch.
No, I probably couldn't. Hooray, but I'll be asked to anyway.
Yep. So a rotary switch basically is just that. It's a switch with a whole bunch of, whether you use brushes or contacts on it, that will just complete the circuit. What you do is you offset each of the contacts so that it goes for a certain amount of time, allowing the coil to be activated. So your first coil gets activated for 1/10 of a second, the next one gets activated after it turns off. So that's one way of doing it. Timing is still going to be an issue, but we can get it close enough. That's pretty much what I want to do. Hopefully we can get some drawings and hopefully get it, within some sort of testing phase before we've completed.
Now, what kind of timeline are we talking? Let's say someone said, "Hey, Sean, I found $10,000." First, would that be enough to build this?
Oh my, yeah.
Okay.
For $10,000, we could probably build one. Well, we could essentially build a bazooka one. Yeah.
Okay, so someone said, "Here's $10,000." Given your schedule,
Okay. Given my schedule, probably a month or two, with a lot of money. However, I'm trying to do this on the cheap, and I'm
Right.
trying to do this so that it's
which
very
is
easy.
kind of like a catchphrase for Sean, on the cheap,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of adds a little bit of I don't know, pique some interest, some je ne sais quoi to this whole segment.
So we're going to try and do this very cheaply and safely. That's the other thing. Safely.
Try, he said. Try.
Yes.
Yes.
I make no guarantees.
Cool.
But, so that's what we're going to try and do. But timeline, probably a few months, just because of schedule and whatnot.
What have you?
However, if work stays the way it is, maybe I can work on it at the office. But
Be
That-
really weird. What's
be
that you got there, Sean? Nothing. It's for fixing the plug melometer.
what he said.
Yes.
But, speaking of using electricity to make weapons, DARPA, those wonderful, wonderful scientists who are mad, as Scott put it to me last week, I hate them because they've got government grants and I can't get them. They're trying to figure out a way, Dave, of using actual lightning from a storm to take out enemies.
That sounds really kind of cool.
Yeah, so basically a weather machine.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty cliche. Anyway, they're trying to study the way lightning works in nature so that they can find a way of either using it as a weapon or finding a way to protect certain areas from getting hit. Because if you can understand how it works completely, you can find a way of neutralizing it. Seeing as a lot of people, your first question is probably going to be how would they get thunderclouds and all that sort of thing and lightning storms to just come out of the blue? Cloud seeding. Basically, Russia and China have been working on it for the longest time, how to just create clouds so they can get rain. Once you do that, and if you also understand how lightning is formed, you can probably start using those clouds to start creating more thunder, more friction, more lightning, more static. So basically, you'd be on the battlefield, be like, hey, we need clouds. Boom!
It'd be like that Kate Bush and Donald Sutherland video for Cloud Bust. Forget it.
No, I don't know that one. But yeah, so
YouTube it.
I will. You do too. But, so yeah, DARPA wants to use lightning. I think they should just stick with ionotron and have it so you can carry it. But that's all for the mad science at this time. Anything to add, Dave?
Puppies are kind of cute when they lick your face. No.
I like puppies. I'm going to go play with one.
Hey everybody, we're bringing back a legacy lull this week. It's 8-bit D&D.
By Dead Alewives, and then someone, I don't know who, did an 8-bit video portion to it as well. I listened to this ages ago. I love it so much. And there are a few other ones that the Dead Alewives have done.
It is a great video. If you've played D&D, it's even funnier
Played it once or twice.
because you'll understand the going into the kitchen and yelling about being in the game and,
Yes.
and all that kind of fun stuff.
I'm
So
playing from the washroom. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
happened a few times.
so we'll play a little clip for you here. so you can get a taste of what the whole video has in store.
Hello,
Hello.
I am Galstaff, Sorcerer of Light.
Then how come you had to cast magic missiles?
You guys are being attacked.
Do I see that happening?
No, you're outside by the tavern.
Cool, I get drunk.
There are 7 ogres surrounding you.
How could they surround us? I had Mordenkainen's magical watchdog cast.
No, you didn't.
I'm getting drunk. Are there any girls there?
I totally did. You asked me if I wanted any equipment before this adventure, and I said no. But I need material components for all my spells, so I cast Mordenkainen's faithful watchdog.
But you never actually cast it.
Roll the dice to see if I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, you are.
Are there any girls there?
Yeah.
I did, though. I completely said when you asked me.
No, you didn't. You didn't actually say that you were casting the spell, so now there's ogres, okay?
Ogres? Man, I got an ogre slaying knife. It's got a +9 against ogres.
You're not there. You're getting drunk.
Okay, but if there's any girls there, I want to do that.
Dave, you know I have a podcast sword of a +9, right?
I tried to get the +9, then I found out I couldn't use it because it wasn't high enough level. It's just so sad.
Yeah, don't you hate when that happens?
I hate that, yes.
So that brings us to the end of the show this week. As usual, if you want to get a hold of us, you can check out our website at almostfridayshow.com. You can send us an email at contact@almostfridayshow.com. Or if you want to follow Dave and myself or any of the other cast members, you can listen to what we're doing at almost_Friday, our Twitter feed.
Excellent. Or also, if you would like to recommend something for one of us to talk about, or comics for one of us to read, or, since I'm getting into RPGs now, you can send a game you want me to take a look at and give an opinion on.
Until next time, make sure that you've always got your seatbelt on and your seats in the upright position.